Sorry. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Oh, I've been having technology issues. It's lovely to see you all. Thanks for joining me for another special health focus Tai Chi and Qigong class. Okay, folks, so before we get up, I'd like to give you new insight. As I learn, I like to pass the information on if I find anything relevant or useful for health issues. And recently, I've been having quite extreme pain in my hips. I've been having an arthritis flare-up, and I know exactly what it's from doing cross-legged meditation for many hours, for many days. I did nearly 100 days of continuous, like not sitting cross-legged for 100 days non-stop, but every day I did at least an hour and a half, and some days I did 5.5 hours, which I would not recommend. So I have now shifted that meditation to sitting in a chair, which is much better, but I have done a number on my hips. And even though I stopped doing the cross-legged practice weeks ago, my hips are still not great. Thankfully, Tai Chi is the perfect remedy, but it's slow going to recover from something like that. But certainly the Tai Chi isn't harming me and is helping. But I've been looking into ways to help. And one of my meditation group, I was giving off to them about the state of my hips and how sore they were. My own fault, because I was given the option to sit in a chair from the get-go, but I wanted to do it properly, do it right, even though it hurt. This is very stupid of me. But anyway, one of my colleagues in the group said, well, if you tried castor oil, it's really good for hip pain. And she sent me a little video from YouTube about castor oil for hip pain. And I said, I haven't tried it, but that's a good idea. I have some castor oil. And I tried it, and I was shocked. And I'm not often shocked by anything. I expected if it helped that it would be gradual, that I wouldn't notice it much, that I would be doing it lots and for very little payoff. But no. The moment that the castor oil touched my hips, I used it topically, so I rubbed it into the skin, I felt relief. Amazing. And I've continued to use it every day, some days 3 times a day, just rubbing it in and then covering it up. That's a thing called occlusion, which means to cover up after you have rubbed oil in, and that keeps the area nice and warm and helps the oil to penetrate deep into the tissues. And apparently castor oil is the deepest penetrating oil of any of the topical applied oils that you can get hold of. And it really is amazing. It has given me great relief. It is sticky. I just use pure castor oil. It is sticky. It's not a particularly pleasant experience from the tactile point of view, rubbing it in, but I don't care because it gives me instant relief. And so I looked further into castor oil, and there are endless videos out there that you can have a look, especially if you look at people who are giving their testimonials rather than sort of doctors, sort of saying, okay, so it works this much, but all that stuff. If you just listen to people's results from it, oh my goodness, amazing. But I would say a big caution is, though it used to be considered a cure-all that you would pour down your child's throat, it is now understood that castor oil is not actually suitable for ingestion. There are some nasties in it that don't go well with the human body to take internally. However, by using it topically to put on any part of the outside of your body, it can be a real game changer for many, many, many things. So very useful for hair growth, for example. You can rub it into your scalp, along with argan oil and the likes of rosemary oil. It's meant to be amazing for aiding hair regrowth. It's very good for eyelash growth. It's very good for dry eyes. You can rub it onto the lids of your eyes and it will help to rehydrate your eyeballs. So it is very similar to the substance that our bodies naturally produce that mixes with tears that keeps our eyes nice and lubricated and comfortable. I used it on my face after listening to all the things it can do for skin, for dark circles under the eyes, for age spots, that kind of thing. And I put it on my eyelids, and I found that my hooded eyes, because my eyes started to get hooded in my teens, they plumped up and became less hooded, and that was in one application. Like, I'm going to use this stuff, this is good. I'm using it on scars, and I have noticed again the redness and the vividness of the scars instantly goes back into the background and mellows out. It's good stuff. I would definitely highly recommend it, and as I say, for arthritis, very good. I noticed my hands, because my hands are quite arthritic, very arthritic at times, because I was using my hands to rub it into my skin. I noticed my hands were less arthritic and more comfortable and just easy to use. It's reputed to be excellent for breaking down bone spurs, for any structures that have built inside the body that should not be there. It's very useful for dissolving it away, healthily and easily dissolving that away. It's reputed, if you listen to Barbara O'Neill, who I like listening to, she says it's very useful using again, topically as a compress. You can even use it on cancers, so the likes of breast cancer, skin cancer, you name it, it will help dissolve things away. So, believe it or not, but I would definitely recommend trying it, because I have not heard a single bad thing that has been said for the topical use of castor oil, apart from the likes of people saying it's sticky. Who cares if it's sticky, if it's going to give you good results, if it's going to save you pain, which it has definitely helped for me. I recommend it. From my own personal testimonial, I think it's good. What I would say to you, if you are prone to allergic reactions to anything, what I do is a wee spot test if you're going to try it. So maybe the inside of your arm, behind your ears, or just a wee dot beside your eye, and just leave it for a few minutes and see if there's a reaction, a bad reaction. If there is, fair enough, maybe that's not for you at the time. But the list of things that people report noticing, it goes on and on. By the way, I rub it into my hips, but I have noticed it has really eased bowel movements, even though that wasn't what I was aiming for. It is so deep penetrating that it seems to have just softened and smoothed everything that's going on in that general area, which I wasn't even asking for or wanting, but hey, I'm happy, that's great. So yeah, have a look. I'll share a few videos with the group. I think maybe I have already, because I was just so kind of like, wow. It's not often I'm so happily surprised by a health product, and it is a natural substance. But again, please don't ingest it. Don't eat it. It's not for that. I mentioned it to a lady the other day who said, "Oh yes, I took some castor oil to bring on childbirth," and she said within 48 hours of taking it, she gave birth. But that wasn't what her doctor recommended. In fact, I think he told her not to, but she did it anyway because she wanted to get that child out. And she says, well, I think it worked. So yes, but I'm saying to you, please don't ingest it. That's not what I'm recommending. But yeah, have a go for aches and pains. If there's bursitis, if there are bone spurs, if there's any inflammation, give it a go. Why not? Okay, so that's my little thought for the day. Let's get up, please, and we'll do some practice. Good. All right. So when you're ready, folks, we'll take right hand in fist and left hand straight. Pull back the thumb with feet together. We take hands together and we press forwards. Lovely. Just ease out of your stance, please, and have a little bit of movement. Let's see if I can get the camera right. Good. Okay, so let's go into our four corners of the hips. Do you remember this way of doing it? If I show you it from the side, if you can just, as a training exercise, bring your hips forwards and your head back, and then your hips back and your head forwards. Do you see that I'm keeping the body and the neck in a plank. So that's my little training exercise for this exercise, that we're just planking. But imagine that the seesaw doesn't just go forwards and back, it can also swivel from side to side. So try that. Just keep your plank and sway the head to one side and the tail to the other. See what I'm doing? So from the front, I'm just swaying from one side to the other. Again, training exercise just to get the feeling for this. And then let's do the same thing, but this time bring the hips forwards, and we're swaying the hips, and therefore the head goes in the other direction. I find this exercise that we're about to do is really good, and yet for beginners they often struggle to coordinate it. So do you see what we're doing? If the hips are back, the head is forwards. If the hip goes right, the head goes left. And the same if we bring the pelvis forwards, we're swaying from side to side. So if the hips go right, the head goes left. And if the hips go left, the head goes right. So let's marry it all together then. So we're going round in a square. And the head and the tail counterbalance each other, but we're keeping the body like a plank. It's just straight. Doesn't have to be rigid. So the hips go in a square and the head goes in a square. But as long as you keep the plank, you don't have to think about anything. And so then you can smooth it off. And there we have the exercise. Good. Now this is Grandmaster Chen Shaowan's first warm-up exercise. And we did 100 of these in each direction in each class that we did with him this time around. Normally we would have maybe done 30 in each direction, but he's asking us to build it up to doing 500 in each direction every day. And what I tend to do, I just give myself a break and just set my body in motion and don't count. And I just do as many as I feel I can do comfortably. The interesting thing is the more I do, the more comfortable I get with the movement. And so I end up going longer and longer and longer. And then I think, well, maybe I should change direction so that I can balance it out. But I find it's actually a wrench to change direction because it becomes so therapeutic, so comfortable to just get into that groove and keep going on the same side. I hope that you experience something similar. However, if you notice, as a few people have, they say, oh, this hurts my back's sore. I would do the exercise with my back to the class, and they would say that after we finish. And then I say, okay, show me what you were doing. And they would be showing me this. You see what I mean? So they're not doing the exercise. That's why we did the training exercise. So we want to keep the plank. Don't let the waist be nipped. So there's nothing to irritate. The whole body is just gently reorientating without nipping, twisting, pinching, none of that. So if it hurts, something's wrong, you need to adjust until it's right, until it feels better. And if you can't work out what's going wrong, stop. You could record yourself if you want and send me a video of it, and I'll give you feedback as to what needs to be done. Good, let's change direction. But there are some exercises that are easier to guide people into than others, and I find this one is quite challenging. But remember, the hips are going into the square, going into the four corners of the hips, and the body remains like a plank. If the hips go forwards, the body goes back, the upper body goes back. If the hips go back, the upper body goes forwards. It sounds ever so complex, but it's not if you think of it like a seesaw. So you just keep your body level, pivoting in center. and it's counterbalancing. So think of the seesaw has a bit of a wobble from side to side. So as one end goes to the right, the other would go to the left, because it's a plank. That's what we're doing. It is like a really advanced moving plank. Don't forget to breathe, please. Good. So I want you to practice and practice feeling for your natural limits. You don't have to push beyond your natural limits. I'd rather you don't. This is special health focused Tai Chi. So I'm specifically highlighting our strategy to work hard but not hurt yourself. Work hard for maximum gain and minimum drawback. And so we work within 70% of our full capacity for any given exercise. And that means you have 30% in your pocket for a rainy day. It means you don't get utterly exhausted. Good, okay, so let's come back to the center. Now we're going to do the second exercise, which if you find that one difficult, this one's a lot easier, but they both have their strengths. So they're different, they do different things. So this one, we're doing a similar tracing into the four corners, but now we remain upright in our body. So the last one was called the vertical spiral. This is called the horizontal spiral. So I always think this is more like a chess piece being moved around the board. It remains upright. The center moves, this part moves, and so the whole body moves with it. And again, we want to build up to 500. And I often say this, I've been saying this for years, but I haven't personally been pushing myself to do it. I've been doing it in class 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a day, but I hadn't been pushing myself. I did it at the beginning and then it kind of tailed away. I'm doing it now. I'm having a go. Even just putting a film on and setting yourself in motion. So instead of sat on the sofa, putting questionable food items in the mouth just for something to do, why not get up and do a gentle rotation? And it's just as satisfying as sitting and eating popcorn. If you're watching a film, you're getting a little bit of stimulation, but you're actually toning and strengthening your body rather than just eating for something to do. Yeah, which I think we've all done at times. Good. Okay, so again, actually it doesn't matter how many you do. We're aiming for 500, but as long as you do about the same amount in each direction, we'll consider it a win because we're creating balance. So let's now change direction. So by aiming for such a large number of repetitions, it becomes stamina and endurance practice, as well as highly mobilizing the energy, as strengthening the muscles, as lubricating the joints, loosening the joints, creating mind-body coordination, creating a sense of well-being and peace. It's a really useful little set of movements. So easy that you don't have to worry about getting it wrong. And then you can just relax into it and feel the flow. Try to keep those hips level. Don't straighten the knees. We keep the knees off the lock. Good. And of course, at any stage, if you feel you've had enough, you can stop. Do you see the size of my stance? Please bear that in mind. Your feet should be shoulder width and level. So I see a lot of people doing it with a half open stance, like half shoulder width. Big mistake. It's going to make your knees sore, it's going to make your feet sore, it's going to make it much easier to fall over. So please be mindful of that, and if you do the exercise, do it with feet shoulder width. Good. Okay. And let's come back to center. Well done. Easing from the staff. Is there a question, Pam? No? Okay, good. All right, so let's have a little shake out, and we're going to kick forwards, step the foot down, see if you can get the back foot parallel. I know it feels awkward, but this is a Chen exercise we're doing, and this is the way the Chen lot roll. They like to have parallel feet. So we're going to bring the weight forwards, bending the front knee, if you see it from this side, and place the hands just above the knee. So we're going to start with just a very gentle press into the leg, and you'll feel the pressure going down the leg and into the Yong Chuan, the bubbling well, the center of the foot. But as you do it, we're going to very gently ease the weight back, allowing the front leg to straighten and the back leg to bend. And if you can start to hinge forwards from the hips, so that then we finish in this quite impressive feeling stretch. Good, and recover, ease yourself up. Good, and a little shake out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, you just do what you can comfortably. If you watch Grandmaster Chen doing it now, you'll see that he doesn't extend his front leg back all the way. He keeps his knee slightly bent. He's in his 80s now. I think he's earned the right. But that's the nature of the beast. That's why we're doing this exercise. As we age, those muscles will shorten, especially because in Tai Chi, this is the only exercise we do that we actually fully extend the knee. So yin and yang, we have to do it sometime. Here's when we do it as warm up. We kick it out, we step it down, and we start with the front leg bent, the weight forwards, the hands just above the knee. Please don't go onto the kneecap. We don't want to put any extra pressure on the kneecap. And we start with a little push through the leg into the front foot. And then gently, little by little, we feed the weight back. We allow the front leg to straighten. We don't force anything. We just do what we can until we're nice and straight. Keep breathing. Good, and up you come. Lovely, and a little shake out. Good, it is very warm in here. Excuse me while I open the door a wee bit. Good, okay. The last wee warm-up exercise I'd like to do before we jump into form is our Chinese drum. And we want to do this very, very gently. So we keep the hips level, we keep the feet level, we keep the knees level. Think of just turning in your waist. So if you go deeper into it, we're turning in the dandian, so in the belly, but we're turning inside the belly, inside the hips, without letting the hips turn. And we want the arms for this exercise to be like water, to be like air. We're not carrying them, we're not directing them, we're just letting them do their thing while you're turning and focusing on moving your center. Breathe into your center. And again, I want you to practice this and do lots. Just do it lots. Again, you can do up to 500 in each direction. What I recommend is do it until you get bored and then do it a little bit more, as long as it's not hurting. This exercise again loosens the quad, which allows the dantian to move easily. And if that makes no sense to you, it's loosening your hips and the connection between the hips and the belly inside. So all movement in Tai Chi comes from center. It comes from the very center of your belly. That's where we're pivoting from, if we're doing it right. So this exercise will help hugely in allowing the center to be loose enough to actually move. It's deeply relaxing, and it's helping you to let go of the tension in your arms. That was my big correction from Grant Mastery, was that less tension, let go of your arms, let go, let go. So we want the structure to be beautiful, but we want the arms to be lighter than air, no tension. Very good. Let's come back to center and just let everything hang for a moment, nice and still. Check posture. Feel the top of the head floating up, the chin slightly down, the chest relaxed and empty, the tailbone hanging down. Don't let your bottom stick out. So it's not that we're tucking the pelvis, but as if you're going to sit. Have you noticed when you're offered a chair, when you go to sit, your pelvis tilts? So that's what we want. We want to allow ourselves to sit. So the pelvis naturally tilts, which brings the tail underneath. Feel your spine hanging down your back, not sticking out at the bottom. That combined with a nice relaxed chest almost makes us feel like we're curling around a ball. So that spine is long and the front feels a little bit short. Good. Let's feed the weight into one side and close. Lovely. Let's recover a wee heel tap, easing from your stance. So there, folks, we were looking a little bit at our Chen style warm-up as done by Grandmaster Chen recently there a couple of weeks ago in Donegal. I really enjoyed the warm-up. I found I didn't count. I'm going to put some lights on here because our skies are very changeable. You know, I've been using natural light. So yeah, I really liked the warm-ups. I really liked Grandmaster's work and the way he was teaching, and it was a very, very weird experience because we did quite a bit. We did 4 hours on Friday, and we did 6 hours on Saturday and 6 hours on Sunday, and there was a lot of standing. There was a lot of standing around. The first day we did 4 hours of healing sounds, which is practically no movement at all from the waist down, standing, and all the movements were from the waist up, whatever we were doing. Basically nothing from the waist down moved, apart from the kidney exercise where we had a little squat at one stage, and then we came up and down. So we did a lot of standing. And the funny thing is, I felt it quite taxing, quite hard work, but also deeply relaxing, and it was almost like rest. So it's a very, very strange experience to study with the Grandmaster. You feel like you're deeply resting, and I felt like he was deeply resting, but you're also working incredibly hard. It did take me a few days to rest afterwards, to sleep it off. But I think that's the sign of good Tai Chi. You should feel like you're working hard and that you're in deep recovery. You're really helping your system out. Okay, folks, let us now go through the whole of the 24 International Simplified Competition Style form. Okay, Let's just see how you get on. So come over to the right, please. Yeah. You lengthen up and relax down. Calming down. Listening behind. Ready? We're going to open. Half step. Relax to center. Old cat washes its face. And let's do some stepping back. And stepping forwards again. Push, knee push. Another half step. Right shoulder back, left arm up, and relax to here. 4 steps back. Use your peripheral vision. So you should be able to see both hands and beyond. Keeping an eye on the amount of room you have. And turn to the front. Grasping bird's tail. I'm getting enough. Oh no, I'm still on screen. Good, keep going. Single whip. Whip. Cloud hands. Single whip again. Adjust. Ready, look back. Half step. High pat on horse. Gather across and lift. Separate, kick right. Everything together, up. Everything together, out. Hand, foot, eye line together. Square to the corner. Double punch. Feed it back. Turn to the back. Left side lifts. Kick to the corner. Right hand in hook. left side towards right. Everything smaller, everything bigger for snake creeps down. Turn left, turn right, turn left. Fill the left foot, right side comes through, heel of hand down. Pluck and pivot. Smaller, bigger. Snake creeps down. Turn front, back, front again. 3 times. You adjust. Fill the front foot, left side through, heel of hand down. Now we need space, so if you need to, travel back. Ready? Jade, Maiden, play Shuttles. Step, gather, step, block, and push. Back and turn, right hug ball, step, block, and push. Half step, or needle to sea bottom. Up you come, turn the right palm step, fan through back. Up and over, right side in, up and over step, turn out, step through and punch. Left under, apparent close up. Scoop, turn in, half step, palms face down, arms down, close, left, and recover. A little heel. Good. Okay, come and talk to me. Let's see how you're getting on with the form. And if there's any questions, comments, confusion.
Can you go over the footwork for Jade Maid plays the Shuttles?
Yeah, you can do that. Okay, so I'll maybe show you it from another angle if it's not clear. So Jade Maiden plays Shuttles. Say if normally we go from the left side to the right side, but if I do it to face you, maybe it'll give you another perspective. So Jade Maiden plays Shuttles starts from the end of Golden Cockerel stands on one leg. So I'm not going to mirror it, I'm just going to show you what's happening. So you're standing on your right foot, your body is turned to your right, and your left side is raised. And I'm looking just beyond my fingertips. So I turn in the hip to step to the corner, and then turn from center to create hug ball, left hug ball. So feeding off the back foot onto the front foot. The back foot comes through center and steps with a bit of width, and then lower hand rolls to block up. The other hand comes in front of the chest, and as I push forwards, my back heel pushes back. So that's Jade Maiden playing the Shuttles. Or Fair Maiden, works loom, sometimes you hear it different names. We feed the weight back, lifting the front toe. We start to turn, the arms are already starting to sink. We keep turning, pushing off the back foot. There's your hug ball. Come through center and step. You always step, I know I'm off screen now, you always step the direction you want to go. So my toes are pointing towards you. That's the direction I want to go. So I roll up, the other hand in front of the heart and pushes forward. You see the heel pushes back at the same time. So that's the end of Jade Maiden plays Shuttles. From there, we take a half step, bring the hip, come up and over and into needle to sea bottom and fan through back. So if I show you it one more time without talking, you can just see. Then I'll show you it from left to right, and then we can do it together. Okay. Okay. Is that clear enough, Pam? Yeah, it's okay. Okay, so let me show you the way. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Just saying thank you. Yes.
Oh, no worries. Okay, so I'll show you the way we're about to do it. And actually, I'll maybe show you the back view of what I've just done as well. Because if I was in class with you face to face, I would maneuver myself so that I'm in front of you. So you would normally see me doing the back view as opposed to being sideways onto me as we do it. So watch it from this direction and then we'll maybe have a go together in this direction. So I know I'm close to you, but I'm standing on my right foot. So 1, 2, 3, push the heel back, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half step. Maybe we could all do that together, could we? Just moving towards the screen. As I say, because we're using a screen, it maybe does to practice these things. I know it's nice to always keep the direction in the form, but this way you get to look at me rather than be going one way and turning your head. Okay, so we're going to stand on the right foot. Left side is lifted. Right palm about level with your dandian, level with the hip slightly forwards. Ready? So we step down to the corner. Hug ball. Through center step. Right hand blocks up. Left hand in front of heart pushes forward. Make sure your shoulders remain down. I don't want to see this. Yeah. Relax those shoulders. Feed the weight back. Turn. Feed the weight forwards, step, roll the hand over as it comes up in front of the heart, push. Half step, middle to see bottom. Okay, again please. So we start on the right, and relax the shoulders. Good, one more time please. Something to bear in mind when we do Tai Chi, pretty much all Tai Chi, we have this idea of La Chi. La Chi means stretching energy. So you could literally just rub your hands together and sit down, grab an energy ball and stretch it out and stretch your legs and then press it in together. So it looks like you're playing an accordion, sort of. So you're stretching and squeezing. And as you stretch your arms, you're stretching your legs, and as you're squeezing it in, you're sitting down. So the whole body expands evenly, and the whole body contracts evenly. And you could do it vertically. Sorry, keep going please while I close another door. Right, open plan building, so if anyone moves, you hear it. Stretch it out. So can you see here, this is a really good example of what I'm trying to get at. My upper hand looks like it's doing all the work, doesn't it? But it's not. My lower hand is evenly stretching and squeezing. It's just that one is yin and one is yang, so I turn it over, I can do the same. One is traveling further, moving faster. The other is traveling less far, moving slower, but they have equal force. So that's a really good example of yin and yang. You just can't lower the arm down as much as the upper arm comes up in that position. So what I'm trying to get at here is that in this exercise, in Jade Maiden plays Shuttles, just like in all Tai Chi movements, if one thing moves, everything moves. If one thing stops moving, everything stops moving. It will look when you do Tai Chi or when you watch Tai Chi, like some body parts are doing lots of stuff and other body parts are not doing anything much at all. But that's an illusion. If it's done correctly, everything should be moving with equal force, like a balloon taking air in, the whole balloon expands, and when the air comes out, the whole balloon shrinks. If one part of the balloon were to expand and another part or other parts were not to expand, it would be like a hernia. It's weak. It would be likely to burst. And that's exactly the same as what we don't want to happen when we're training. So if there's a force of expansion, the whole body is expanding. It's not just your arms go up and out, the force is going down your leg as well. And in this style, we allow it to express as the heel expands back, as the arms expand forwards. It's not that the top arm expands and the leg expands, but the other arm doesn't. Everything has to evenly express the expansion of energy. Yes, we direct the energy where we want it to go, but we have to express the energy evenly. And that gives us strength, that gives us a feeling of equilibrium and balance. So be careful of that. Now in Chen style, just to give you some reference to other aspects of Tai Chi, I asked about this because I noticed that nobody was pushing their heel back, whereas in Yang style, you know, if you're expanding like this, you push the heel back. If you're doing punches, you push the heel back. I asked, so you don't seem to be moving your heel. And the answer was no, you don't. No, in Chen style, you don't. The energy goes down to the heel, but instead of expressing it by moving the heel, you allow that build-up of energy to rebound, come back up the leg and go back to the direction that you're pushing with the arms. So the energy expresses, but it is not allowed to exhibit the expression. It bounces it back up. But in Yang style, if you do have an expansion, you see the leg? There is equal force expressed going back. So just stylistic differences for different purposes. Okay, let's do it one more time, folks, please. So standing on the right. And heel back, expand, relax the shoulders, back. Heel back, expand, forwards and up, relax the shoulders, and good. Okay, just to bring it back to where we started from, let's do that exercise as we do in the form. So we're going from the left-hand corner to the left-hand side to the right-hand side. So as we do in the form, standing on the right, left leg up, ready, and good, half step. Good, and rest. Good stuff. Okay, Pam, has that covered what you wanted to cover?
Yes, it clarified some foot movement there to me.
Good stuff. Okay, folks, let us do let's do a little warm down. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to do some Ban Lan Shui for warm down. Ban Lan Shui means block, parry, punch. And it's not difficult, I don't think, but the change of direction makes it somewhat confusing, maybe at first. So block, parry, punch. We're going to start from, yeah, I got a bit turned around myself there. We're going to start from, in fact, we're going to turn the rim around so that you can watch me as we do it. So we're going to start facing the left, which is not how we do it in the form, but otherwise you'll be facing away from the screen. So imagine you've just done your fan through back to face the left. Left hand and foot in front. We're going to lift the hands up and turn in, feed the weight left and swing the right hand down and bring into a fist. We come up and over, step. We turn, step through and punch. Good, and we do that again. Ready? Relax the shoulders. And 1, 2, 3, turn, step through, and punch. And again, please. 1, 2, 3, turn, step through, and punch. Good, and rest. Now, when the right hand comes down and brings the right foot in, we bring in the back of the fist, the back of the arm, this way, which is, if you're not used to doing martial arts, that's a strange little move, isn't it? Imagine doing that, like your fists are pointing to each other. It's that move, yeah, that position. So it's back of hand in order to swing up and over. Swing up and over. So you're leading with the back. Try it with me, do it with me. Back and over. Back and over. Back of hand in, unfold it forwards. Back of hand in, unfold it forwards. Good. So let's do it one more time. Ready? Up. Swing into fist, back of hand in, up and forwards. Hand and foot move as one. Turn, step through and punch. Last time. Are we ready? Relax shoulders and swing back of hand in, up and over. Twist, step, and punch. Good. And we finish the punch. The left hand is in a little brace position about forearm, about the middle of the forearm, slightly more towards the wrist. You don't actually need to touch the arm, but to be there, like a little guard position as you punch. Good. And rest. Well done. Let's just finish off with a little bit more of our Chinese drum exercise. I like the soft and gentle. I think it's really nice. And certainly if you've been having a bit of a time of it, if you're not feeling very comfortable in your body, soft and gentle is your friend. However, if for warm down you want to feel a little bit more buoyant, you can add a bit of a thump. So you're patting your body just a little bit. And patting your body is very good body conditioning. It stimulates blood flow, it stimulates energy flow, it helps with healing, it helps break down lactic acid that may cause cramp. So just go down your body and give everything a wee pat. Cup your hands, it's more comfortable. Good, down you go. Down to the feet and back up again. The other day I did some cupping, which is a traditional Chinese home remedy. They do it in, acupuncturists and Chinese doctors would do cupping as well. You basically, it's like a jam jar. You can use jam jars if you want. And you create a vacuum in it by, well, I used a match, but you could use a lighter, or there's, paper soaked in paraffin or something. You burn it, you burn something to suck out the oxygen out of the jam jar for a second, and you suck it onto whatever part of the body needs a bit of extra stimulation. And it's very interesting stimulation, because with massage, with anything we do, we tend to be pushing into the body, rubbing, but sucking, the cupping actually sucks the flesh up off the joint, so it creates more spaciousness within the area. And if there is any stagnation, it helps to release the stagnation, and so you'll get a bruise sometimes if there is stagnation in the area. So you often see it in Olympic swimmers. That's when you see it the most. You see all these perfectly circular bruises all over their back. It can be quite pretty, actually. If there's no stagnation, there's no coloration change. And if there's only a little bit of stagnation, you'll see a redness. And then if it's really bad stagnation, it just goes bruised, instant bruise. It can be purple or black. It's a really lovely technique. I did it for Willem the other day and had 6 of these cups on his back, and I oiled his back first, and so then I was running the cups up and down his back. So it was just creating this beautiful kind of suction massage as opposed to pressing massage. And then he did the same for me, which was really nice. It's lovely. I enjoy cupping. Very gentle, but very powerful practice as well. So this isn't quite cupping, but reminded me of it. Anyway, we're going to flop the wrists. We're going to do a little bounce and let the wrists go floppy. If your arms don't like this, you can just leave them dangling. And I'm doing the fascia hop type version of 100 ailments go away. So I'm not quite letting my heels hit the ground this time. I'm just bouncing gently. Keep breathing and relax down. I like the fascia hop version, but I also like hitting the ground with my heels very gently as well. It has a different effect. You can try that. It sends a little ripple of chi through the whole bone structure, which stimulates bone density. Good, let's stand for a moment. Feel all that lovely energy doing its thing. Let's scoop it up to cover center, hug the elbows in. Just for a moment, breathe and relax down into your center. And feel your energy is stronger. Beautiful, well done. Let's bring the feet together. We'll do the Qigong salute today, just for a change. So we're going to press gently into the Dantian as we bow. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me today, working so hard. I hope you enjoyed that practice, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.